So from what I can see here is the panel line in the center there is looking pretty good, but there's still a big bubble around here. So when you've got complex curves like so, you might need to... Hello, this is BJ from Hearns, and I'm going to do a tutorial about applying decals. So I've got all the gear in front of me here, and I'll just quickly go through all the different aspects. Okay, so I've got some decals here, so these are just some spare decals from something that I've already used before. So this was actually used in my H Citroen wagon. So we use some of those. I've got a sample bit of plastic here. Pick something with some odd bits and pieces so that you can see how you make the decals fit into detail. Now to apply the decals, I've got some solutions here. Now I've got the GSI solutions. There's a setter and there's a softener. So there's a lot of different brands as well. There's Micro Set and Micro Sol, which is also very good. Vallejo also make a selection, and there's a few other companies. They all do the same sort of thing. They're generally a two-part system. So the set, which is this sort of milky one there, this helps the adhesion of the decal. So this goes on before the decal is applied. And then the softener is obviously, it softens the decal, and this goes on top of the decal to make it adhere to the surface and bend to all the contours. Now I'm going to be using some tweezers, so you can either use curved tweezers I've got here, which I've had for like 15 years. There's some straight tweezers. I've got a sharp knife, so a sharp knife for cutting out the decal, and then I've got some cotton wool buds. So the cotton wool buds are going to be used for blotting up the liquids here and also the water, and also I'm going to use them for rolling down the decal to help it contour to the curves. Okay, so to start off with, I've got some sort of tepid water here. It's not quite warm, but it's warmer than cold water. And then I'm just going to slice out one of these decals. So let's see, let's do a reasonably big one, so you can sort of see. Let's just do this one here. Okay, so I'll slice around roughly around the whole thing. Like so. Now that should just pop out there. Okay, these are spares, I'll stick over there. Okay, so we're going to do this one here. It's mainly black, it's a number plate, it's got some letters on it. Alright, so I'm just going to pop it in the water, like so. Get some tweezers and just push it in until it's submerged. Alright, we'll leave it there for a few seconds. Alright, so I'm going to prepare the surface first. So let's select the part here. So I've got some panel line and a bit of a curve here, so I'll stick it across here. So since I'm going to be putting the decal there, I'll get the set. So the set's already been shaken up a bit. These particular ones are handy because there's a brush inside. Alright, so I'll just paint it over the surface. Like so. Alright, so that's prepared, ready for the decal to come on. So let's just have a quick look and see if it's starting to come off. Now the decal, you don't want to leave it in the water for too long, because what's going to happen is the adhesive that's on it is going to dilute and end up in your water, and it won't be very sticky. Okay, so when you got it, pull it out, put your finger across it. If it starts moving like this, okay, so you see how it's already moved off the surface, that's ready to apply. Okay, so I just put it on a bit of this tissue here, and you see a little bit of the water getting blotted off. Okay, now using the tweezers, hold on to the backing paper, and we'll just find the spot that we want to put it in. So I'll put it around here. Okay, so I slid off, pulled out the back, don't need that anymore. Now that's sitting on top of the set that I just put onto it before, and you just adjust it to where you want it, like that. And then I'll get a cotton wool bud, and I'll dip it with a little bit of water. Okay, because you want this moist. If it's not moist, then it's going to start picking up the decal. Now from the center, you want to put a bit of pressure and then push out like that. So what you're doing is you're rolling out all the excess water from the center, and that avoids the decal from shifting around too much. Okay, so what I've done here is I've bent it around so you can see how that works there. And there's a big panel line in the center, so I don't know if you can really see at the moment, but it's just sitting over the top, so there's a bit of air, and that's going to all go once we put the softener on it. Okay, so initially that's straight onto the setter. We rolled it down, so getting out the excess water and all the setter means it's pretty firmly in place now, so it's not going to move. Alright, so got that there. We're going to put the softener on now. Okay, so softener, same sort of thing, brush. The softener gets brushed all the way around. You want to put on enough so it covers the whole lot, but you don't want it so that it's swimming and there's a big bubble of softener on it. So you see it like so. It's probably enough. Put it down here. So you want to make sure you get it on all the edges too, because you want it to slightly get into the sides. Put that back here. Alright, so with the same moist bud, I'll work it again. So just gently roll it. Like so. Now, I'm trying to concentrate on this panel line here, because it's quite a bit of an angle. You need to be gentle, and it's all about rolling with a downward motion. You don't want to put sideways force onto it, otherwise you might tear the decal because it's getting softer now. So from what I can see here is the panel line in the center there is looking pretty good, but there's still a big bubble around here. So when you've got complex curves like so, you might need to do another application of some softener. So I'll put a little bit more on it. And just concentrating in that area. Right, so I'm applying a little bit more just in the area. So it'll sit there, it'll start softening the decal, and it will help the decal to stretch. Okay, so I've got that in there. Alright, so from the looks of it, it's pretty good. Alright, so just gently roll it all the way around. A little bit more attention on that complex curve there. Okay, so that's flat now. So I've got it down there. See how that panel line's going all the way through. And I've also got it curved around this side. And that's pretty much it. So that decal is already applied. So you allow it to dry, I guess for about half an hour to an hour if you need to get back to it in a hurry. Double check that it's all settled down, because as it dries, it'll pull itself down onto the surface with tension. If you've still got air bubbles in there, you can apply more softener and just gently roll it down until it's flat to the point that you need it. If you've got little bubbles, you can always pop the bubble as well with a scalpel, and then it'll soften it up, and the air bubble will come out and it'll be flat. And that's it. So there's my tutorial on how to apply decals and how to use the decal setting solutions. Now, just so you only have one, then the softener is the most important one. So you can use that without the setting, but the setting is very helpful in that it helps it stick to the surface better, particularly if you put it on decals before you put on clear and you're going to put tape over it. Because if you don't do that, sometimes when you pull the tape, you can pull up the decal as well. So there you go. They're my tips. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll answer them for you. So that's it. Thank you.